Hey everybody, it's Marty. Happy New Year's. We are in January of 2024 and we are just 8 short months away from Ironman, Wisconsin. This is a very special week, as most uh, weeks in early January are for me, as it's the beginning of my training for the upcoming racing season, which I think is always the best time of the year, my favorite time of the year. But the 2024 race season in particular will include what will likely be the pinnacle of my racing career, which will be competing in the 2024 Ironman Wisconsin Triathlon on September 8th in Madison, Wisconsin. I wanted to start a monthly vlog, not only to cherish what will be a huge accomplishment for myself, but also just to keep friends and family updated and all my progress and everything in the weeks and days leading up to the race. So just to give a quick recap for everybody, the first question most people have is, what is a Ironman triathlon? So like the name implies, an Ironman triathlon is a triathlon race which encompasses three different um, segments: a swimming session, a biking session, and then a running session. Ironman in of itself is a brand and usually encompasses two different types of races. One being a 70.3 total mile race, which is usually considered a half Ironman. And then there is the 140.6 total distance race, which is considered a full Ironman triathlon, which is broken down into the three components, which specifically is a 2.4 mile swim, followed by a 112-mile bike ride, and then finishing with a full marathon, 26.2 miles. Which begs the question, Marty, why are you doing this? Which is a great question and something that I ask myself multiple times in a year, whether it be in races or in the training for the races, as I'm just miserable and trying to figure out why I signed up for this at all. But looking back, I was introduced to triathlons, I think like 7 or 8 years ago. The gym I was at the time, some of my friends had done or were doing or training for triathlons. And I thought it was like a really um, cool thing. Um, Something that I didn't think I would be able to do anytime soon at that point in my life, because I was, not a good swimmer. Like, I could swim in a pool for fun, but could not swim laps, at least more than 1 or 2 laps, without completely getting exhausted and winded. Was not a long distance biker or runner, had never competed in anything more than like 5K or 10K race. But I thought maybe, something to maybe aspire to someday. But it was a busy time. I was in graduate school, and like all things, school trumped everything in my life. So it really wasn't until um, March of 2020 when I decided that it was what I was going to commit to. March 2020 obviously was a very challenging time for most people, but I think especially for people that worked in healthcare. At that time, I was working in the ICU at Aurora Sinai in downtown Milwaukee, and on the COVID ward, taking care of the really sick COVID patients. And it was just to this day, what I describe as just a very surreal moment, not just in my career, which at that point I'd only been a PA for 6 months. So not just a surreal time to be in my career, but also just like a surreal time to be a human. Um, we had um, multiple deaths, and in my career, I've had 5 patients that have died under my care, and 4 of those 5 happened that week. So it was just like a very challenging moment for me in my career, um, but also um, challenging from the standpoint that there was so much unknown at that time too. And I think the biggest things I took out of those early months in the pandemic was just how precious life is, and how things can change on a dime so quickly in life. You can go from being completely independent, healthy, feeling like have so much time left on this planet and everything. And overnight, things can change completely. And I think what I took out of, the early onset and the early months of the pandemic was that life really can be short, and you really do have to cherish all the time that you have and not take life for granted. And those things kind of pushed me and motivated me to make doing a triathlon a goal and something that I would start working towards every single day to make it a reality. Triathlons are the quintessential test, what I think, of human, you know, physical strength and mental strength. Just persevering for hours on end to get to a finish line just takes so much. And, I'm one of those people that really pleasure those moments in life where, you do something to step outside of your comfort zone and you realize just how capable you are. And triathlons, are that. They make you realize you can do things that you didn't think were possible. And for me, that was swimming, biking, and running long distances. Not only, those individual components alone, but then putting them together too is also a huge accomplishment for anyone that takes on these races. Sorry, I'm getting over a little bit of a cold still. And thinking back to my first triathlon, I did a sprint triathlon in the summer of 2021. So only a few months after I had decided to commit to doing this race. And that's only a 400-meter swim followed by a 10-mile bike ride and a 5-kilometer run. And just crossing that finish line, like, man, you would have thought I climbed Mount Everest. But again, just one of those moments where, again, you do something that you didn't think was possible for yourself and just really, you know, enjoying the fruits of your labor. And just, it's one of those moments, just as like a human being, we all just can get really excited about when we do something that we didn't think was possible for ourselves. Fast forward to 2024, thinking about going from where I was to now having the potential to complete a full Ironman triathlon, just kind of gives me goosebumps. And if it is something I'm able to pull off, I know it's something that I'm going to take with me for the rest of my life. And for all of us, in life, we always want to make sure that we have no regrets and that we did everything, we left everything on the table. And for me, I think competing in an Ironman is a great way to prove to myself what I was capable of in my life. So stay tuned. January is starting out to be a very exciting month. I have a coach who's going to help me along this entire process. Um, he's great. He's competed in multiple Ironman competitions, has trained people that have competed on the professional circuits. Um, so definitely money well spent. And, going into this race, I thought I might be able to, you know, do it on my own and figure everything out. But from what I've learned, in the past from training for the races that I've done so far, is that you do make a lot of mistakes your first time around. And just thinking about the time and money and everything that's going into this Ironman race, it's just nice to have someone who can help you not make as many mistakes and save you just a lot of time, energy, and frustration, um, not only in training, but also on race day. So, really excited about that. Um, you know, it's only been like 2 or 3 months since I've, finished in 2023 with my races, but I was laughing because my coach told me that, he was gonna start me off pretty light, and yesterday got me on the bike for 30 minutes, and it was a wake-up call. And if this is what quote, "going light" is, oh, it's gonna be a challenging year. So, but no, very excited. Like I said, this is like my favorite time of the year. Getting back into training and everything for race season just really gets me excited. So, really looking forward to um, the training and everything in the months ahead. And, the other thing I really like about this whole experience is meeting new people, other like-minded people that are also doing triathlons for the same reasons that I'm doing them. Triathletes are usually some of the best people you can find. So looking forward to making new friends and spending time with people that I have trained with so far. Yeah, you know who you are. Shout out to Brian and Ryan. So, looking forward to keeping you guys all updated. in the weeks and months ahead. And hopefully, you know, in 8 short months from now, 35 weeks to be exact, which is crazy because that does not seem like any time at all to train for this race. But hopefully, in a short period from now, we'll be talking about um, me crossing that finish line. So, with that, thanks for tuning in and listening. I appreciate you all and talk to you guys here in a couple of weeks.